This is the NSU Basketball Coaches Show with head coaches of the Riverhawks, Jay Havens and Keith Ferguson. The show is hosted by Ori the Voice Phillips. The NSU Basketball Show is presented by the NSU Alumni Association. Joining the voice alongside is myself, Sean Solo, and William Captain Morgan of the Riverhawks Sports Nest podcast. The show is recorded live at 6 p.m. on Mondays at Emery's Grill in downtown Tahlequah. The show was aired on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. on Lakes Country 102.1. The video portion of the show will be posted on the Rogue Radio Network YouTube channel Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Now, on to the show.
It's time for the Northeastern State University Riverhawks Basketball Coaches Show. Here are your hosts, Ori Phillips, William Morgan, and DJ Sean Solo.
Recording from Emery's Grill in downtown Tahlequah, this is the NSU Basketball Coaches Show presented by the NSU Alumni Association. I'm Ori Phillips, the voice of the Riverhawks, and I am joined by the Riverhawks Sports Nest, consisting of DJ Sean Solo and Captain William Morgan. Alongside us are the head coaches of NSU Basketball, Jay Havens for the men and Keith Ferguson for the women. Before we get to our conversation, we'd like to extend a big thank you to the program's presenting sponsor, the NSU Alumni Association. Membership in the NSU Alumni Association is the most visible way to show Northeastern pride. Members enjoy exclusive perks and money-saving benefits, and also support the Alumni Association's outreach efforts. Learn more about membership at nsualumni.com. The Riverhawks took the court for a brief homestand this last week. NSU opened on Thursday against Emporia State with a 74-57 win over the Lady Hornets in the women's game. They've now won their last two at home against ESU by a combined 37 points. Meanwhile, the NSU men lost a tough one to Emporia, 84-71. On Friday, the ladies completed a regular season series sweep of the Newman Jets, defeating them in an 88-72 final. Gabrielle Tilley had 21, a career high, and Mackenzie Smith was 1 point off her season high with 18, and Michaela Bingley had 13 points for a season high. The NSU men won the NSUites free Frosty coupons on the first night of our 100 points for free Frosties promotion, courtesy of the Tahlequah Wendy's. It was a 104-62 decision that had a great degree of finality early on. NSU started on a 44-15 run in the first 13 minutes and 32 seconds of play. NSU's 42-point win marked their largest margin of victory in a conference game since 2003. That was back on January 11th. Against Midwestern State while we were still in the Lone Star Conference. It also marked a milestone for Coach Havens, his 200th career win. Ethan Blackman also crossed 1,000 career points in his 72nd game with the program. Our play of the week goes to a 4-point play from Gabrielle Tilley on Thursday night against the Lady Hornets, and I will say was not going to pick Gabby Tilley play this week because we've done it the last 2 weeks. But then she turns around and has perhaps the play of the season for NSU women's basketball. Here's the call.
More as we progress into this matchup. She's had a pair of great games, double figures recently. 2 seconds, one, they pass out far corner. Tilley, she's fouled as she sinks the tray. Put that on the highlight reel.
So going into last week, I was thinking, unless Tilley has a 4-point play, I'm not picking her this week. Well, now if she doesn't have a game winner, I'm not picking her. So we'll see if she can extend the streak. But before the So Nice at the Quad, we got to end a short homestand on a highlight. Coaches, give me your thoughts on last week. We'll start with Ferg.
It was a good week, obviously, for us. Anytime you get 2 home wins is exciting, and both teams possessed a different form of challenges with some different things. Emporia threw some zone at us that we hadn't seen. And how they attacked us and did a few different things and kept trying to change things up. And then Newman, like we said, they're going to come in and they're going to talk a lot and say a lot of things and keep popping off. And our kids just put the head down and kept going. And it didn't matter if the players on the floor, coaches on the bench, red shirts on the bench, injured kids on the bench, they're all saying something. And our kids just put their head down and went. And Newman made some tough shots. They really did. But we just maintained and kept grinding away and kept working and were able to come out with another double-digit victory.
Made sure to say double-digit, by the way.
Yes.
Coach Havens, go ahead.
Yeah, a tale of 2 games for us. Obviously, Thursday, very disappointing. And give Emporia credit. They were the team that played the hardest, and they were the team that executed the best. And they got what they deserved and we got what we deserved on Thursday. But I was really, really proud of our guys for responding when we asked them to respond the way that they did, and maybe almost complete half in the first half against Newman on Friday, quick turnaround. But to shoot over 60%, 14 assists and no turnovers in the first 20 minutes, and to build a commanding lead, it was good to see that. Not taking any of the frustration away with Thursday night's performance, because I think we're the better team, and if if we play a series, I think we win the series. But college basketball doesn't work that way, and we were flat, and they made us pay, and so it didn't go our way. But really proud of the way we responded and came back on Friday to get a key win that we needed on our home floor.
I was really mad at Jay, by the way, because I'm thinking, man, we finally outscored him for a half. We dropped 50 and a half. This is rolling, looking good. And he just goes, watch this.
Let's go ahead and bring the sports nest in. We'll start with Sean for this week's Banger Players of the Week.
Well, I know he's not a player, but that's my coach. With his 200th win, Jay Havens, you are my Banger Coach of the Week. Had to do it. I had to make a special call for you. Really proud to be there and to witness that Friday night with my perch and everything. It was really awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, and appreciate you guys in particular recognizing that. And more importantly, I told Ori after the game that was win number 11 and number 4 in the conference for this team, and we were 1-0 on Friday, and that's always going to take priority. But because of what you guys did, it really did give me chance to pause and reflect and think of a lot of good players and a lot of assistant coaches that have allowed me to have a good seat for a lot of wins. As James Naismith, that invented the game, said, it's not a game that you coach, it's a game that you play.
Right.
So I think that gets overrated sometimes, but I've been very blessed, and so thank you guys for recognizing that, and it was a special night.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, congratulations, Coach. That was great. And we don't want to talk about it too much beforehand because we don't want to kind of jinx it. But, yes, it's awesome to have seen that and been able to call that game as a PA. But I'm going to go back to Newman because you scored more points in the paint than your average there, so which is huge, and we need to keep that up. So kind of what fueled that early avalanche for that end of it, and can you kind of maintain that?
Well, we hope so. I mean, that is an emphasis. I mean, we want to attack the paint. We want to play with pace and move the ball. And we want to get downhill and attack the paint, whether it's off the drive or the post up or off cuts. And so, obviously, the more easy baskets you get, the more efficient your offense is going to be, and that's going to continue to be an emphasis for us. And I think that's the battle in every game. The team that gets the most easy baskets usually wins. So I think that was good to see. Good to see the production. Good to see us carrying that out, and we want to build on that, obviously.
Yeah, there are a lot of drives in there too, just driving in there and getting the layups in there. So that was good. Coach Ferg. So going back to your team, they've shot better than their season average on the floor these last 2 games. So especially in the paint, Emporia and Newman, they both struggled to keep NSU out of the lane. So what was clicking for you guys offensively, your team, to be consistent in the paint and finish that?
I thought we did a good job of attacking the rim. If you put pressure on the rim, whether it's through the cuts, with the basketball, through the pass, driving it through the post, whatever. However you put pressure on the rim, that really makes things hard for the defense and allows you to crack the shell. The defensive shell that they're trying to keep you out of. So I thought we did a great job, and they had that little spurt where they went zone against Emporia, and then Newman did a couple things, but our kids just kept putting their nose down and finding different ways to put pressure on the rim. And once you do that, we just continued to wear them down, and I think that's why we're able to have 88 against Newman, and obviously not our best defensive night by any means. But offensively, I thought we did some really good things. And against Emporia, same kind of deal. Whether they were in man, whether they were in zone, we just kept putting pressure on the rim in different ways. And once we were able to crack the shell of the defense, then we were able to play out of it and get some easy looks.
Well, I'll go back to those, Coach Ferg. Actually, Emporia State and Newman, they actually had more turnovers than assists combined against you last week. So how much of that was intentional on-ball pressure? And you talked about your defense already, but versus just the byproduct of pushing tempo and scoring in transition?
Well, a little bit with Emporia, the way they play, they're gonna set kids up a little bit. But we wanted to take a couple of their playmakers, kind of out of the picture. And I thought we did a really good job on 2 of their leading scorers. We held them to well under their average. So if those 2 can't get going, it's harder for them to set anybody up. And then Newman, we really knew Newman wanted to. They're going to put you on an island and try to go one-on-one a lot. And our whole thing was they're going to go one-on-one. They're going to hit some tough shots. You just can't let them have uncontested shots. Make them take tough pull-ups, step-back threes, things like that, which they hit some of those early. But then playing back-to-back, playing with pace, and in the fourth quarter, those shots don't fall near as often if you're not used to it. And I didn't think they were in our depth. Our bench is really good. When you got your third and fourth leading scorer, second, third, whatever it is, Gabby and Aniston coming off the bench, and then you throw in Corey Rainwater and Snowda or Michaela. I mean, a couple of those kids are good enough to start for a lot of people. So our bench comes in and really takes advantage of their opportunities as well. And I think that was a big thing for us, was taking some of their kids out of it. Newman, we wanted to put on an island and kind of keep him there, and I thought we did a good job of that. We didn't do a good job with some other things, transition defense-wise, but and when you're able to do that, then it forces them to do harder things and press a little bit, and you're more likely to turn it over and make some bad choices.
Great conversation up to this point. When we come back, we discuss our road trip against Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern this week. Stick with us on Lakes Country 102.1.
Whether you're cheering from the
Can we get a 3-minute spin?
Next exam.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Tahlequah Family Vision Clinic is proud to support.
This is Kaylee Alt from Women's Basketball, and you're listening to the Riverhawks on Lakes Country 102.1.
Welcome back to the NSU Basketball Coaches Show. We'll continue the conversation, but first we'd like to thank our official radio sponsors for the season. Without their support, this show would not be possible. The NSU Alumni Association, Archer Cleaners, Cherokee County Collision, Chick-fil-A Tahlequah, NSU College of Extended Learning, Riverside Liquor, and Whirling Dervish, Rose Rock Coffee, the Shonkley Group, Tahlequah Family Vision Clinic, Northeastern State University Relations, and the Wash Barn. We're firmly into rematch season. The Riverhawks hit the road to battle Pittsburgh State on Wednesday. That's tomorrow for anybody listening. Missouri Southern on Saturday. These are revenge games for the NSU women as they mark 2 of NSU's 3 losses on the season. The NSU men played in overtime against both teams. A 119-117 win over the Lions and a 98-95 loss to the Gorillas. I will say, I've watched the men's game against Missouri Southern a few times since we played them. If you've got the MIAA Network subscription, I highly suggest you boot that one up. It is a track meet from start to finish. But, coaches, give me your thoughts on the competition this week. We'll start with Havens.
Well, two very tightly contested games. Now we're going on the road, and those were battles. Obviously, both going 45 minutes. Couldn't get it done in 40. Now, the Missouri Southern game, I kind of go out of order here, but the order we played it, right before Christmas, and that was an up-and-down affair. I mean, a high possession. They're going to press the entire game. They're going to trap rebounds. They're going to just scramble, and I thought we did a pretty good job of turning our press offense into easy baskets as often as we could. And now on the other end, they're very difficult to guard. They play with a lot of pace, and they've got a lot of weapons. So we're going to have to be able to string together stops to get some separation and handle the ball against the press. And then obviously the priority is going to be, first things first. We got Pitt State tomorrow, and that was a battle. We really let one get away there, and no doubt about it. We were up 12 at half, up 13 in the second half, and really sloppy with the ball in that game, 18 turnovers. And I know we're better than that. And then we get it. It goes into overtime, and we shoot 1 for 9 from the field in overtime. And any one of those possessions in regulation, we make one more play, they make one less shot. We had a different feeling in that game. But that's life in our league. It just 2 evenly contested teams most nights that you show up, and you've got to make plays, and you got to be sound. And so obviously there's the measure of going on the road this week. Both teams are good at home. These are places we've had success in the past. We've been able to go on the road in these venues and get wins. So hopefully that, especially for our returners, they've got a little confidence that we can carry that out and go get it done. But we know what's in front of us. We know we've got a huge test, and every game is important right now. So we've got to find a way to be our best.
Well, I think both are games that, we had leads in the fourth quarter at certain different times and had opportunities. And, watching film with the Pitt game, I'll go backwards from Jay. Watching film from the Pitt game with our team and different things, there was a lot of things that we did were kind of immature and like leaving too early for screens. We weren't detailed on the boring things, the things that make you win basketball games, setting up screens, coming off screens, the right ball fake, just little things like that maybe the average fan doesn't notice as much. We were bad at, and that's why Pitt State was able to get us, and they made some plays, and we didn't. And we had a couple kids not play great. We had a couple kids play well on one end of the floor and not the other end of the floor, and we allowed Pitt to get to the free throw line 29 times, and you can't do that against a team that shoots free throws so well and give them such easy possessions. So, we've got to clean some of that up. Southern, same kind of deal. We had a lead. They made some plays in the fourth quarter. We did not, and it was just you walked out, both those games with such a bitter taste in your mouth of how those games ended, and if you do one or two more possessions or things change, but again, like Jay said, that's life in our league, man. Like, our league's brutal. It's nasty, and both these teams on the women's side are tied for first in the league, and they're going to pose tough challenges, and we've got to be at our very best to compete and be ready to go.
Let's talk through the guard play of your opponents this week. For you, Coach Havens, we talked before about Pittsburgh State. They got one of the best 1-2 punches in Mason English, Connor Rogers. They were deadly against us. English, we've discussed before, loves to drive. He's very physical. And he's got a great player in Rogers to pass out to if there's nothing there for him. But against us, there was some stuff there for him. 31-point performance then. Saturday, you take on Jaden Taylor. He scored 32 against us back in December. He's one of the top scorers in the MIAA. And then for you, Coach Ferg, I know on Saturday with Missouri Southern, we're looking at Grace Frazier, who in my mind is a top 5 guard in the league. Talk through some of the obstacles this week from these opposing backcourts. Again, we'll start with Havens.
Yeah, I think, you look at any good team at any level of basketball, it comes down to guard play, and it seems like everybody we play has high-level guard play, and Pitt is no exception. They obviously English had a very good game against us. Knew during the game we had some flaws in our ball screen coverage, and our execution was very poor, and he made us pay for that. He is a great playmaker, but he turned into a scorer because of some things we were doing incorrectly, and so we've just got to be better. And so this will be a test. I mean, this will be the feedback. Have we learned? Have we improved in that aspect? And then you're going to see the same on Saturday with Missouri Southern. Jaden Taylor, the last time we played, was the leading scorer in the league and still among the top scorers. And so you've got to do a good job of neutralizing him and making him earn everything, keeping him in front, keeping him out of your paint. And in addition to being able to score, all these guys are playmakers. They can create for others. And so they really test your defense, and we're going to have to find a way to be as sound and as solid and together as we can to have a chance to stop them.
Well, on our end, with Pitt, you got Harper Schreiner, who – 4-year starter. I think this is the lowest minutes she's played per year at 33.3. And started every game her entire career, and she commands the team. I mean, there was a point she was getting tired in our last game, and she turned to their coach and said, "Hey, call I won't say because we're alive, but a timeout." and they listened to her. You know what I mean? Like the kid is a leader. She doesn't have the greatest stats, but every time they need a play, Harper Schreiner makes a play. I've watched that kid since she was probably a freshman in high school, and great family, great kid. She's so tough and so good, and I mean, she's incredible. She's their motor, and they moved her off the ball this year to not get her so worn down as much. So that kid's really good, so you got to account for her because she can rebound, she can score it a lot of different ways. And then Grace Frazier is really coming into her own. It was exciting. I was sitting with their head coach over the summer, and we were watching Grace on one court and Reese Shiree on another court. And we're like, man, those kids are going to have some battles, coming up in the next few years. And Reese, unfortunately, had her injury last year, so didn't get a chance to see how good she could do head to head at year one as a freshman. But no, Grace can really score it. She does a lot of things. We've got to have constant pressure and constant an idea of where she's at and not let her get things easy, because once she gets scoring, she's a good enough passer that she can do some different things and really makes life hard on you if you allow her to get going on the offensive end.
Well, you guys have talked a lot about a lot of different things from the first two meetings, but I want to ask you both, what's the one like specific thing like immediately stood out to you watching film on those two games from our standpoint on what needs to be tackled first? Like, what's one thing that actually stood out to you guys?
Yeah, I think with Pitt, we've just got to be really sound and assignment sure in our ball screen coverage, because they're going to test you every possession. They do a great job of seeing how you're guarding ball screen and trying to attack that. And so we've got to guard it with 5, and we've got to get into the ball, and we've got to make it go one way, and we've got to get the ball stopped, and we've got to tag behind it. And they're going to make you do that for however many if there's 80 possessions in the game, they're going to make you do it 80 times. And so, every time you make a mistake, they're going to have a chance to exploit that. So we've got to be great in that regard. And I think against Southern, one of the things we challenged our team in the first game is for lack of a better term, we got to play it at a Goldilocks pace. You can't get sped up, and you can't slow it down, because that's not us.
Right.
So you got to play it just the right pace, and we don't want to get sped up. We want to be aggressive, but we don't want to be careless, and we got to take care of the ball. And you're going to see press all night, and you got to keep them off the glass, and you can't turn it over. So those things will all show up the second time around, and those things were obvious when you watch that film.
I think the same thing with us against Pitt. It was really we had some opportunities if we clean some possessions up on both ends of the floor. Again, rotate a step sooner, be better on the ball, no straight line drives, because Pitt's going to go dribble drive all the time and really try to get downhill. And on the offensive end, we got to be better coming off a screen, setting up screens, and some of those things that were a little sloppy with us. And then Southern, I really honestly thought a lot of the same stuff. I mean, we were a little early coming off screens. I thought we did a good job guarding their main kids, but then they got 11 offensive rebounds or 13 offensive rebounds, something like that. Both those teams out-rebounded us by 14, and you can't have that in a conference game. You can't get out-rebounded by double digits and expect to have any success.
Well, Coach, the question I had for you pretty much already asked. So, I know what you're looking for the wins. What you expect, what you've seen from the film from the first round, and now we're going to the retreads. We're playing everybody again. So, as you're doing that, just as you're playing someone the second round, the second game of the season, is there something you're really breaking down to what you did on the first game, as far as, or it's all out there now? You know what you're doing. You just got to do a better job on your end of it. We'll start with you, Jay.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to execution. We've talked about you get into league play, and everybody knows everybody. I mean, there's not going to be any surprises or secrets. We know what their strengths are, and vice versa. And you got to find a way of being the best version of yourself. You got to defend, you got to rebound, you got to take care of the basketball, you got to get great shots, and when you do that, you got to be able to knock them down. And I mean, there's really no surprises second time around, especially. And so, we're going to be tested, and I think that's, human nature is to tie it to, what is the result you get. But we want to look deeper at how did we get to that result? Like, what was our effort like? What was our energy level like? What was our communication like? What is leading to outcomes? And I think that's where you see growth, and that's what you can control over the course of the season and over the course of a 40-minute game. So that we're always going to be focused on that and what we can do and how we can be the best version of ourselves.
I'm excited to see the growth, maybe possibly, of the Pitt State band. They said my name about 437 times. And at one point, I'm like, God, are you guys going to say anything different?
Didn't you buy one of them a coffee or something?
No, that was Fort Hayes. Fort
okay,
Hayes, because
okay.
their band was funny. They were really good. They were unique, and I'm interested to see if Pitt State band comes up with anything new, or if it was just like Keith, hey Keith, and it's like, God, guys. I mean, I know my name's Keith. Like, my daughter says Keith a bunch. Dad, I get it. So I'm interested to see their growth. That'll be interesting to see if they've developed,
see if they have any new writers,
if they've developed anything, or if they're still doing the same stuff. And no, but with our team, we would like to think we've been getting better, each week, and we're doing some things that we're supposed to be doing. I've thought we've gotten better defensively than when we played them the first time. I think offensively we're definitely shooting the ball better now than we were at around Christmas time earlier. So we're figuring out how to get to our spots in a little bit quicker, getting to the second, third side a little bit faster. So that helps. And then who's supposed to shoot the right shots, right? Like, and we got to get Mac the ball. We got to do a better job. And Mac's got to do a better job. We talked about that in film today. She's got to do a better job of getting the basketball in her spot, and we got to find her the basketball in her spot.
We appreciate the insight, most certainly, Keith. Up next, we have the captain sketch.
Well done.
With Captain Morgan. He'll look at a player from both teams he's got his eye on for this week. We'll also get final thoughts from the table. Captain's Catch is next on the NSU Basketball Coaches Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association.
Archer Cleaners is a proud sponsor.
2 minutes, please.
Mind if he calls you Keith?
So you're going to get hammered, I'm sure, this week on getting called Keith. But you.
This is Kaylee Alt from Women's Basketball, and you're listening to the Riverhawks on Lakes Country 102.1.
We return to the NSU Basketball Coaches Show, presented by the NSU Alumni Association. We have a few more things to get to. First, a reminder, we'll be live on Wednesday tomorrow night from Pittsburgh for a 5:30 p.m. tip-off for the women's game, and the men will take the floor after on Lakes Country 102.1, the official radio home of NSU Athletics. Coverage starts at 5 p.m. On Saturday, we'll be live at 1 for the women's tip-off at 1:30 in Joplin, featuring the men's game after against Missouri Southern. Captain William Morgan has his picks for players to watch this week. Let's go to the Captain's Catch.
The captain's catch this week. I want to cover last week's first. I picked Mr. Ethan Blackman and Miss Gabby Tilley, who both had phenomenal showings this week, so that was good. Gabby's 4-point play there, giving her much love this episode. But this week's pick for the captain's catch for the women, ladies first, is going to be Mackenzie Smith, as Coach Ferg had talked about. Smith is the engine of the Riverhawks this season. She's averaging about over 13 points a game. And she has got to perform this week to close these 2 wins out for us. I believe she's got to lead out well, and she's got a chance at it, but she's got to step it up. So for the men, who we had on the show last week on the podcast show, we're going to pick Mr. Nehemiah Weber, Nemo. So he's already shown his clutch ability this season, and he's got that buzzer beater in overtime against Missouri. So early in the year, he is a primary playmaker and a go-to scorer in tight moments. He is fun to watch, Coach. He really is.
We really found him on the court this year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Found Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah, see, like that?
Maybe me to a Finding Nemo reference. I was thinking about little windows to say that this season. Haven't been able to.
Right.
But
good job, Sean.
That was a good one. And Nemo, he was really good against Newman. 20 points in that one, and he didn't even really play the last 10 minutes. So
Yeah, him and X, after being on the podcast,
it's just magic.
blew out
Work of
game. I
magic.
love it.
One final reminder that the most visible way to show our Northeastern pride is through membership with the NSU Alumni Association. And make sure to download the Green and White Network mobile app for alumni and tap the Coaches Show tile. Fill out the form to enter to win a $25 Visa gift card while you receive a generous discount offer for Alumni Association membership just for taking the time to fill it out. We'll do our weekly drawing now. I forgot who drew last week, so one of you guys would like to.
I believe it's Coach Ferg's turn.
My
All
turn.
right.
Okay, I got this. I'm all over it.
We'll see if
And
it's
Mandy
Andy.
was so upset that she already left, because she hasn't won these past few weeks.
And the winner is.
Is it?
Sounds kind of like Mandy. Last name ends with the same letter that her first name ends with. Bo Curry. Congratulations to Bo Curry. The winner of this week's $25 Visa gift card. Another great show in the books. Final thoughts before we hit the road. Start with Sean.
I just want us to continue to start taking care of the ball and taking care of those details, because we're doing the rematches. It's the heart of the conference of the season, so I just want to kick off this week in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's two tough games coming up, but I think that the way y'all been playing, it's exciting to see. As I said, both of your teams are exciting to see on the floor. I love seeing them, and I don't think there's you got a chance this week, but you're doing everything you can to get them ready. Congratulations again, Coach, on your 200th win. Ethan Blackman's 1,000th point as well.
Yep.
So congratulations to that. So just keep up the great work, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. And if you guys listening, I've heard the roads outside of Tahlequah are good. So if you can make it to Pitt, get up there. If not, get down here to the grill, because they'll have the game on, and get in and watch it, because you're going to see 2 good basketball games.
100%.
All right. Final thoughts, Coach Havens.
Yeah, big week for both teams, and so just wanting to travel safely, hopefully.
Yes.
Get up there and looking forward to it. Looking forward to the competition and 2 great opponents, and this is what you, as a competitor, it's what you live for. We're looking forward to it.
Definitely. Anything else, Coach Ferg?
Man, just excited to have another opportunity. You get to be with our team, and they're a lot of fun to be around every day. And like Coach said, another opportunity to play, another opportunity to compete, and we can't wait for it.
This has been the NSU Basketball Coaches Show presented by the NSU Alumni Association. We'll catch you Wednesday.